Okay. I make videos to continuously put testimonials. So, and I don't care how repetitive they are. It's because this purpose also wants to escape, right? Somebody just yelled out my eyes because they're doing things to my eyes, and the reason why she's saying this right now is because she wants to disorient me from saying what's just happened. Uh, if you look at the, I think it's this corner, you see some random pictures. I was watching videos and there was like in the video there's like little kids involved in it. In one of the picture, they gave me some strong stimulation. I literally had to go pee because they did something to me. Uh, and after that, there was another one where you can see like the head, but the kid is a little bit older, and so they didn't do the stimulations. And they're like, you see, we matched that. What we matched when you felt that it was when you were like younger, and you see like with that we match it to that. That's how you feel. Like come up with ways to try to make me accept these pedophilia things they do. They make me react these ways. That's what they do. They do these nasty things where they force you to experience nasty things. For me, it was so intense I had to use the restroom to go use to urinate to go pee. And they want you to accept these things. You obviously know they're the one making you react any ways they want. They can make you feel stimulation, they can make you whenever, right? And then they're like, oh, but this when you saw this wasn't real, right? But this you didn't feel anything. Like as if I don't know what they're controlling me in every situation, whatever reactions I get. It's like, but that felt like when you were a kid, and then. And the reality is this: you're gonna hear that clearly that they do the pedophilia type of torture, and these people you see their job and these versions of them right now going through the scripts, which you're gonna hear. They go through scripts where they try to get you to accept things, to disorient you. That then they point out the torture that you can experience because they want you to be disoriented, confused, right? Because they are doing things to my body, of course, but they're calling that out. They're calling that out when this happens to disorient you, to make you subscriptive to what's happening to you, knowing that it's them manipulating you. The reason why I do this all the time and making this same testimonials is because these people will never escape into the fantasy. They will always understand that I knew that these manipulations is what this program does to people. As I was saying that, to disorient me again, they tell me how I'm gonna get raped. You understand this is the kind of things they do. It's obvious that these tactics of trying to make somebody accept manipulations that they are forced to experience, right? And they go through like scripts of, oh, we solved it, you're gonna get raped, no, it's you, and they're going back in all different ways and using different tonality. Oh, we solved. It was like, it's just these people you see there, that is their job. That is why I make these videos too, is because you think that I'm gonna be like, what you're doing to me is making me feel like I was a child and I'm gonna subscribe to this? Like, you think that I would naturally want to go urinate if these things happen? Like, these people are delusional. And they're like, no, but you didn't feel anything with it. When you saw the other kid, that you'll see the little head thing, that portion of the head. It's like you didn't feel. It's like because you didn't make me have anything. Everything I experienced. If you want me to experience it, I'll experience it. It's like no, but the little kids, you see, you felt it when you were a kid. No, you're making me feel that right now, and I'm not a child. I'll watch these things normally if I was me. I would not run and try to and go having to urinate because whatever you're doing to my bladder or whatever, my private area, is what you're doing to me. And they're like, no, but you feel familiar. It's like, I know you can implant that in my childhood memories. I know. I know that's what you do. I have no, like, listen to that. But to think that I ever subscribe to this, as much as I know that you guys force people to experience disturbing stimulation toward children, and it's funny because they have presented all kind of psyops. Right now, the whole like femme fatale things is like, oh, you're gonna be tortured. It's like, listen, all these horrible things are gonna happen to me, but you still work for pedophiles. You still do this pedophilia type of torture, and you torture children. Please listen to below what they do to children. They torture children. They hurt. They abuse, sexually abuse children, and other ways. These people talking to me, and it's funny. Sometimes, well, what they try to do sometimes is trying to talk about me as a kid and the dumb thing I did to myself as a child. And that's why sometimes when they make me have these stimulations, they're like, oh no, it's you when you're a kid. Remember? It's like, no, you're making me experience these things right now. Even talking about it right now, they're giving me the stimulation that they forced me to have. You gotta be strong and understand these people are here trying to break you down and make you acceptive. Why am I making these videos? Because the day my brain is so fried up that I'm going with whatever things they make me experience. I've made almost 1,000 videos saying what's happening. Made it very hard for them to just escape into their fantasy. So you tell me, what you're making me experiencing is what I would experience when I was a child. And me as a 30-plus-year-old man is just making me think like a child would think, and now I have to run to the bathroom every time I see little kids like that, to go use the restroom, to go pee. You think I'm going to let them leave this? I know what you guys do. And I see them for truly what they are. When I see these people, when I see them, do I think that they're investigating there? And like, no, I see them for what they truly are. I understand. You work for these governmental entities that give you incentives, and they come in all shape and forms to make you accept these things, right? This is a program that manipulates men and women in different fashions, and they want these people to be acceptive to these manipulations, and they also agitate the target individual. They do everything possible to get this result. This is not, they're not just like, like, I understand that there's a bigger picture, and they're gonna act accordingly. That's why somebody in the hallway start yelling your eyes. Yes, my eyes are they're gonna do horrible things to me, because this purpose also wants to live in that fantasy that they've created together, they've put together. Because they don't want to tell themselves, accept the fact that I'm in a program that is renowned to manipulate people in these nasty pedophilia ways. The entities that really contract these bottom feeders, this contracted trash, are filled with pedophiles. They torture children sexually in other ways. These things have known to do foul and horrible things. So no, it's our money, we're different. Yeah, okay. The psyops are even used the same ways. And so me, never subscribing to this, and them trying to be like, no, but what, you when you were a kid, when you were a child. First of all, I know that I'm not a child, and I know who I am. What you're making me experience is what you manipulate me to experience. You talk about what I did as a kid is what kids are capable of doing. And I know even what you're making me experience today, I would never experience it when I was a child. And they go as far, but what about when you were like 9, 7 years old? Something like that. You understand? Well, they hurt and torture children. What they've done to women is horrible, but the reason why I find myself so strong and validated is because of what I've heard in regard of the testimonials. And even when I hear these kids, childlike individuals try to make me subscribe to it, they even use the same tactics. Listen to what the other target individuals I've mentioned, thinking that it's a 14-year-old next door doing this to them, to him, or to her. I know they're just the bottom feeders. You gotta be strong. So regardless of what's gonna happen to me, I'm just thankful I had the chance to make these videos. And when I hear this bottom feeders, like, you won't. It's like, listen, look at your life right now. You've been humiliated, and I haven't done anything to do this. They try to use the different tonality. It's like, okay. Within my time, being tortured and tormented, a lot of things have happened. Please continue to live this life. To all my target individuals, stay strong.
All of the years of torture that I've taken, and all you are going to hear is aggravation for every single second of my privacy that you have taken away from me and my family. Then said this: the slaves began a program of perversion. First was with my dog. I am very playful with my pet, and suddenly one day that I was petting him I felt strange, in the sense of the word. I thought, this is strange, and then afterwards that strange sensation continued. Then in that moment I realized that was impost, so I thought, look at this losers, don't know how to put me down, and they are doing this. So I told them that I know what you are trying to do, and I started laughing, and then I said again out loud, you'll never take my will, ass. So just to show them that I meant what I said, I kept playing with my dog, and even though that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use of people, better said young people, also children and
happens. In 2015, I began to experience what some call V2K, or voice to skull. This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind. Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted and sexual, as well as destructive and violent. I can be free from this torture. Every day has been a miracle of survival. I also experience what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams.
They're trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. It's disgusting, disgusting. This take this whole thing into account so much. I make it so dramatic. It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. It's disgusting, disgusting.
Often see highly disturbing pornographic images and videos, including highly disturbing pedophilia type of images and videos when I close my eyes.
The targets were forced to perform homosexual acts on each other against their will and religion in order not to be beaten or killed. This is a common breakdown tactic of belief systems and the human will. In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds.
Able to impose any information on the brain of a person, presumably by some kind of waves, which in the mind take the form of voices, thoughts and images and imagination. In addition to this kind of implanting information that they need, they manipulate the psyche so that the information is written into your memory. Then by stimulating the certain regions in the brain, they can retrieve this information and present it as your own memory. This is the conclusion that can be made judging by the influence they have been making on me with their psychotronic weapons, for example artificial thoughts, imagination, and mental torture.
Occasion, I was told I was going to be shot in the face. And it was an older guy. He was like really, really disgruntled and pissed off. Yeah, you're going to get shot in the face. You know, sound like an angry ass old person. You know, then a couple of days later, a female said the same thing. You're going to get shot in the face. You know, stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is with the voice of skull, it's a bunch of females. You know, and I'm like, bro, really? You're not a woman. What real woman?
I am currently a speech-language pathologist working in private practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism, and she was the most significantly affected of all of my clients. I eventually had to tell this client to go to another clinic, and they used her to threaten the most torture in me as well as their most extreme forms of torture. For several months, she would cry and scream horribly during our therapy sessions despite having a great day at school. This was highly unusual behavior for her, as she usually behaved very well during her therapy sessions and had been making incredible progress on all of her therapy goals. This was used to threaten extreme torture on me, making me scream and cry, etc. They would make the kids act out the kinds of torture that would later be done on me. For example, they would also sometimes make her bite her hand, threatening to make me bite my hands, as they often do. One day, she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm. She has also grabbed her crotch, saying, "Ow," and this was used to threaten me with severe sexual torture. One day, I also observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way that I do when I am being more severely suffocated. The suffocation had been in a mild state for a while up until this point. Many of their torture methods are cyclical in severity. Right after I saw this child being suffocated, then I began to experience very extreme suffocation all day, every day. The nature of the torture I have been experiencing has been highly sexual in nature and highly perverted, involving many combinations of sensory and motor manipulation of my mind and body. and of the people around me. This includes many different types of zaps to varying degrees to the genitals, butt, anus, and the entire pelvic area. This also includes many kinds of movements, such as the rocking, swaying, jolting, vibrating, and shaking of my entire body or various body parts, specifically in a sexual way. The severe vibration is a highly noxious stimuli and is very intolerable. They sometimes do pulses or throbbing sensations on the genitals too, etc. There are also body movements such as rocking my pelvic area back and forth, repeated rubbing sensations, the sensation of something going up my crotch and in and out, etc. They also often force vaginal discharges and zap my genitals at the same time.
8 billion brains on and those are the confusion tactics. And when they're breaking down the ego of the human through all the pains and tortures and the verbal breakdown, these are typical CIA torture scripts. I mean, Kubark manual. And they do good cop, bad cop interrogation called Jeff and Mutt. And they go right through the list, right? Just textbook.
That's the thing. The rest of the cases, they were sent back to the CIA to handle them internally. Where are you?
Well, don't worry, Stephen. I think a few of them were fired.
Yeah, well, the rest that's the thing. The rest of the cases, they were sent back to the CIA to handle them internally, whatever the hell that.
Where do you
about
think
that.
you
The
work?
CIA.
That must mean there is such a lack of fearing any sort of accountability. For crying out loud. While on assignment, 1,400? You must have not been doing any job.
Well, even if you had to look at it to make sure you knew what it was, don't you just need to look at one?
Right.
You're like, I better check the other 1,399
double-checking.
just to be safe.
Yes, I better
Each
check the other
file.
1,300 labeled tax things.
Unbelievable.
Oh my goodness.
And the guy with the 6-year-old?
Disgusting.
Twice.
Yeah, twice.
Twice with the 6-year-old.
So and here's the scariest part. Out of the 10 instances that are described in the report, only one person was ever charged with anything.
Yeah.
With anything. Comment below. Do you guys know this story? This should be catnip for the media, right? Think about it. You've got this lewd behavior. You've got corruption at the highest levels of government, right? Aaron Brockovich, something about fake tits and tap water.
Yeah.
The CIA, raping children and sexually assaulting children?
Had sexual contact with a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old. He was simply fired. One employee purchased sexually explicit videos of young girls filmed by their mothers. He resigned. One employee estimated that he had viewed up to 1,400 sexually abusive images of children while on agency assignments.